We're back out here at the Big Lake once again, and today we're talking about why the fall may just be the single most important thing about fishing in the fall. It'll make sense when I explain it. Stick around.
And this water has cooled off. There we go, I got him. Ooh, that feels okay. That didn't take long.
And here is this video's featured comment. Congratulations! If you would like to have a chance to have your comment featured in an upcoming video, all you've got to do is leave a comment. And now, on with the video. Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing. And when it comes to bait selection, not just all year long, but especially in the fall, we put so much effort into it, don't we? We think about color, we think about type, we think about whether it has rattles, we think about whether it has flash. But one of the biggest things about it that we really need to be focusing on, especially now, is, well, the fall rate. And before you click away, let me explain, okay? Fall rate is one of those things that is so paramount important. It may not be important to you, but it is very important to those bass. It's one of those things that can easily make or break any day out on the water. And most anglers don't even think about it. As a matter of fact, there are 6 types of fall rates. Did you know that? 6 types of fall rates. How many do you know? Well, the first couple, sure, you may know. The third one, possibly. It's not that far-fetched. But the 4th, 5th, and 6th, most anglers I've ever talked to, they don't know what these are, and they are so crucial. Now, they know them, but whenever you put it into the context of fall rate and how it works, well, it just opens up a whole new avenue, and it clarifies a lot of the mysteriousness of fishing, right? Why bass behave the way they do in certain situations. Now, obviously, the very first type of fall rate is a very slow fall rate, and that's when something just lightly flutters through the water. First thing that comes to mind is something like a weightless wacky rig, as that bait just lightly flutters through the water. Sometimes it's agonizing and how long it takes to sink down. But that slow sink rate is very important under the right conditions. You didn't just choose to throw a weightless wacky rig because, that was off the top of your head. No, you threw that wacky rig because you were trying to achieve a goal. You wanted to represent something with those fish, and that is an enticing morsel that they can't resist. And now, a weightless presentation with a slow fall, we know that those are best during light wind and clear water situations. If it's a heavy wind, well, weightless slow fall presentations, like even a weightless fluke, depending on how small it is, something like a Fluke Junior or something like a wacky rig, they don't do very well. Now, it's unfortunate, especially if that's the type of fall rate those fish want, but there's not anything you can do about it if you can't effectively fish it. So a lot of times we step it up just a little bit and we go with a faster fall rate, right? A fast fall rate. This is another one that a lot of anglers are familiar with. Something like a jig, something like a NACO rig, something like a weighted Texas rigged worm. These are going to rocket through the water much more quickly. They're going to get to the bottom much more quickly. And as a result, we get reaction strikes from those bass. A lot of times if we're fishing a pressured body of water and we really want to just get those fish attention, real quick and then move on to something else, or hopefully we can get a group of them just to commit, because we know bass have a fear of missing out, right? They suffer from fear of missing out. And if we can use a faster fall rate to trigger that reaction strike, well, then perhaps we can benefit from that and get a few more bites. Now, the third type of fall rate, and again, this is one that's pretty commonly known, and that is the glide, right? Something like a tube or a hover rig, right? Or, you can even do a slightly weighted fluke, and that would be kind of a glide on the fall. Something along those lines. It's not fast. It's not necessarily slow, somewhere in the middle. It's not going to go straight down. It's going to go to the side. It is definitely its own thing. And as anybody who fishes tubes will tell you, it definitely has its benefits. Ask any smallmouth fisherman, right? And even those who use tubes here in the South with largemouth. I use tubes with largemouth all the time, and it is a great way. That glide, you can imitate an injured bait fish so well. As a matter of fact, the glide may be the best way to imitate an injured bait fish. And those are the types of situation that we want to use them in. You see bass busting. You want to throw something in there that's got a little bit of a glide to it, so it looks like something those bass may have smacked into, and it's just kind of fluttering down. That's when it's so effective. It mimics an injured bait fish so well. So you say, well, what's the fourth type? Well, the fourth type is actually floating. That's right, something like topwater. It floats. It does not go down into the water. It has, no fall. It does not fall at all. And again, that's a type of fall rate. Believe it or not, it is a type of fall rate. It is a zero fall rate. It stays on the top. You can kind of make it bounce up and down, but it's going to stay on the top. And topwater, as we know, definitely has its place. It has its purpose. We know when to fish it. I love to use topwater, especially something like a popper, right? If I see a laydown and I know those fish are active, I can pick that area apart with a popper and have great success. Or if I'm looking to cover water, well, you guys know I've been talking a lot about using something like a spook lately. I cover water with that a lot. And the very last video that I did, you guys saw me do a lot of great work fishing virgin water with a frog. So topwater, zero fall, definitely has its place. It has its purpose. And again, it's a type of fall rate that we need to think about when we choose. You say, okay, smart guy, what's the fifth type? And the fifth type, and this one here is going to kind of blow your mind a little bit, okay? Negative fall rate. And you say, lowbrow, negative fall rate is floating. Isn't that the same thing? No, it's not the same thing, because here I'm talking about things like square bills and crankbaits that we are bringing down deep into the water column and then killing and letting them float back up to the surface. See, they're negatively going from the bottom to the top. And those sorts of things, ask any angler who uses a square bill, who fishes square bills all the time, especially in the fall. Those anglers who are using a square bill right now, they are getting a lot of bites when they pause it and that bait rises back up to the surface. And you do that for various reasons, right? You can get it caught up in a brush and you let it sit and it floats back out and gets out of, backs out of that trouble, and you keep burning it along. But if something about it, something catches those bass eyes, and they see it rising up and they've got to hit it. It's great for crankbaits. It's great for square bills. It's an amazing way to get a bite. And oftentimes it goes hand in hand with our sixth and final type of fall rate.
We have this KVD 200 jerkbait back in our hands as we float south. And this water has cooled off. There we go, I got him. Ooh, that feels okay. That didn't take long. Come on, little buddy, I don't want to lose you. Okay, well, that didn't take long. Yeah, oops, and you hooked yourself. Way to go, genius. You hooked yourself good. That was an unfortunate. There we go. We got you free, little buddy. We got you free. Okay, little 3/4 pounder on the jerk bait. So that's a good start. That's going to let us know that they have gone deeper. Let's go ahead and see if we can't find something a little bit bigger out here, right? Okay, little buddy, we sure do appreciate it. Thank you. All right, there he goes. Let's get on to the next fish.
And that is a zero fall rate. And again, you're going to say, well, lowbrow, didn't you just say that topwater was floating and that was zero? No, what I'm talking about here is something that stays completely put in the water column whenever you're fishing it. Case in point, a suspending jerkbait. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It stays exactly where you put it whenever you're fishing it. And again, this is a very useful tool and needs to be considered, especially in the fall and going on into the wintertime, right? A lot of guys are going to be fishing a jerkbait, especially in the winter. And whether that bait suspends, whether it falls, or whether it rises can mean everything depending on the mood of the fish and the fishery that you're on. So it is very much a type of fall rate. Again, there's 6 types: slow, fast, gliding, floating, negative, which is going up, and zero, which is suspending. And if you can master those 6 types of fall rates and use them in your bait selection, as I'm selecting my baits, that's paramount. That is exactly what's going through my mind. How are these going to react in the water column? Because that's what the bass are going to see. Those are the things that the bass are concerned about, and how it not just looks real, but more importantly, looks like something that they want to strike and want to eat. And that, more than anything, is what we need to be focused on. And whenever we become focused and begin to master those different types of fall rates, you will watch, especially in the fall, as our catch rates not only go up, but the quality of the bites that we're getting also goes up. So there you have it, fall rate and the 6 types that go along with it, and why we as anglers really need to be focused on fall rate whenever we're selecting our baits, especially in the fall. The right fall rate can put us on fish all day long. The wrong fall rate, well, we'll just end up getting skunked. So it's something you need to keep in the forefront of your mind. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.